Coming up, Colin and Jimmy welcome Jake Van Warmer from Generac. They discuss everything homeowners want to know about installing a Generac generator at home. What are the must-know tips? What makes Generac different? Find out in this episode.
Welcome to another episode of Behind the Studs, your home improvement and remodeling podcast, where the two most entertaining guys discuss the do's and don'ts in home construction and in the remodeling industry. Remember that you can nail it, paint it, or just tune into the show. How about that? Here are your hosts, Colin Shaw and Jimmy Driscoll.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Behind the Studs. Hello, Jim.
Hey buddy. Hey, which one? What's our episode now? How many? What's the number?
Oh my God, 40 something.
That's not good.
No,
You don't remember?
I can't today. No.
You know why?
You want me to guess?
I know why.
Why?
Because you're a year older.
Yes, I am a year old.
Because
Yes.
it was your birthday last week.
It was my birthday last week. Yes.
So-
yes, and I've stopped counting officially.
So I'm not going to dress up as Marilyn Monroe. Let's see.
Oh,
But I'll give you a quick Elvis.
you're gonna get us in trouble.
Have a birthday. Have a birthday. Do you?
I don't know.
Are you-
This
are you-
isn't doing it for me.
You want to eat that cake?
Oh boy.
All right, we gotta
listen,
get serious.
Yeah, we got a
a big
guest.
guest on our show today.
Right, you're just monkeying around over
That's
there.
it, monkey.
We'd like to welcome Jake Van Warmer. He's the product manager for Generac. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We really
Thanks,
appreciate
Jake. Thank you, Jake.
it. We're getting close to the hurricane season and all, here on the East Coast. So this is going to be quite timely, I'm sure.
Yeah, one thing, hurricane season every year is definitely an important thing to prepare for. And over the years, we've seen a lot more homeowners be educated on home standby. And
Yeah.
happy to talk to you about that today.
Oh, awesome. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some questions from our audience, and then Jimmy and I put a couple together as well. So You're looking forward to this. This will be fun. So how long you been with Generac?
I've been with Generac for 7 years and started in the service department. So definitely had some hands-on training and moved my way over to product management and, have definitely had a lot of experience and understanding consumer needs and a lot of those questions as well from a standby perspective.
Nice.
Well, even before we start, I have to say, I think you have an excellent product.
Yes.
It's very, very consistent. We see a lot of it up here in New England.
Mhm.
I have never heard a bad thing about them.
Mm-mm.
So thanks for having us, Jake. It was really great having you on the show. We love the color orange. I think it's great.
Likewise.
Yeah, the logo is great. Yeah.
Yeah, it really stands. So how's that? All right. So let's just get that all out of the way. It's a great product, and we'll go from there. We'll talk more about. Let's get in depth.
So
Sounds
how long
good.
has Generac been around?
Generac's been around since 1959. So we actually pioneered the first affordable backup power solution out there. And today we see about 8 of 10 generators being installed, and those are Generac products. So, not only did we create the category, but we're definitely the leader. And we continue to have innovation and innovative products. Most recently, we launched a product with Wi-Fi. So now, we're taking the next step and giving the consumer more feedback and more control at the palm of their fingertips. And, they can see the status of their generator at any time. So,
Wow.
Hey, Jake, do you know the history of Generac how it all started out? Because I don't. Do you know any of the synopsis of it all?
yeah, we actually started out in a garage. The founder, his name was Robert Kern, and he was giving it a go. He had a few bumps in the road early on, but we started out in a garage in Genesee Depot, Wisconsin, and now we've grown into a large corporation and focusing on consumer products, anywhere from backup power to portable generators.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also manufacture products for hospitals and larger applications as well. So, we've certainly grown in size as well as our product categories and capabilities. So all the way from a garage to being headquartered in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and serving all different applications and needs.
Must have been very busy during COVID, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Certainly, and there's a few reasons for that, right? You see the way people are changing their lifestyles and their habits. With vacations just not being a thing, a lot of people are spending more time at home. Not only are they spending time at home from a lifestyle and fun perspective, but people are working from home more often. Their kids are learning from home as well. So, we call it the home as a sanctuary trend, and that's certainly going to continue in some way, shape, or form as we move forward through this pandemic. But, the focus on that travel and that lifestyle hasn't been as great, just with the different concerns and everything else. So, we're seeing a lot of the shift and focus being spent to spending money at home, because that's where you're spending your time. So that's good.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, everybody's working from home now too, and they can't really be, without power at any time, to keep their business going.
So on that note, when Texas lost it all, when all their power went out, did you have like a huge uptick, like getting calls like up the wazoo that Generac, trying to get generators to Texas?
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that every time there's a large power outage like that we see demand.
Sure.
It's almost instant. And we used to see it with hurricanes, but obviously now we're seeing it with Texas and the snowstorm, if you will. And then if you shift to the West Coast, you're seeing it with the power shutoffs in California. So there's quite a bit going on. It's not your typical outages that we're seing, right? And we call that a hurricane or storms. And we're seeing more and more of them more frequently, and they're lasting longer. So there's quite a bit of activity going on, and it's certainly going to continue by the looks of it for this weather season and the number of named hurricanes.
Yeah, they're calling for an even busier season this year than last year, so that's kind of crazy.
So I'm kind of interested too, because on the assembly line of it all, of the generator that you're manufacturing, I'm sure your factory is open 24 hours now. You don't do an 8-hour day. I'm sure it's like around the clock. Am I correct?
I don't know the hours specifically, but we're busting at the seams. I mean, we actually just purchased a facility in Trenton, South Carolina. So we're working to meet the customer demand to make sure everyone who wants backup power can certainly get their hands on it.
Mm-hmm. I was also thinking too, because when you build a generator, you need certain supplies to make the generator. And I was wondering, was there any any problems with short of materials that you needed because of the COVID situation, things like that you couldn't get to build the generators? Do you know anything about that?
Nothing that I can speak to right now, but there's certainly there's global trends in the different markets that are happening right now. That are causing us to keep an eye out just to make sure that we're keeping our manufacturing plants up and running. But nothing right now that's going to halt our shipments to customers to make sure that they have power when they need it the most.
Yeah.
So lead times weren't changed at all due to
lead times certainly were changed.
Yeah.
From a lead time perspective, like I said, we're making them as quick as we can.
Sure.
We do have a new manufacturing facility, like I mentioned. Right now, you're 20 plus weeks across the board. So if you're looking at standby power, I'd recommend starting the permitting process, because it is a home improvement project. So if you want to start your electrical and your gas and kind of start that process, reach out to a dealer and they can help you through the quoting and the installation process of what works for that specific consumer, because all needs are different.
Right. Now, so if you want to get a Generac, you have to go through just authorized dealers that you guys have throughout the country, or?
We have what we call an omni-channel approach. So you can get it through a dealer, you can get it through your electrical wholesaler, you can get it through a retailer. There's also other e-commerce websites out there that have our products. We want to make sure it's available to everyone. But if you want to start that process and you're just not quite sure what product to choose, I definitely recommend going through one of our authorized dealers, excuse me. We have about 7,000 across the country. So there's going to be one in your area for sure. So definitely recommend starting with a dealer if you're just unsure what to do, or just, not really sure if standby is the right fit for you. The dealer will walk you through that process, understand your needs, and kind of size what you're telling them for the application that you're looking for. If you want to back up your air conditioner and the whole home, he can walk you through that. Or if you want a smaller unit and just a few select circuits, they can also get you a product that you need. We really have a solution for every budget, is what it comes down to.
Nice.
Right. What's your biggest seller right now?
They all are.
All right. Okay.
There you go.
That one.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? Would you want to? If you have a large house, you would get the installed generator. If you have a house that's probably like 1,500 or 1,200 square feet, you'd probably get a small standby generator, like a portable one.
Portable, yeah.
Portable.
Yeah, I think stepping back first, really understanding the consumer's needs. If it's an older couple, maybe they're not able to lug out that heavy generator during a storm.
True.
Even if they have a smaller house, they'd probably want an automatic backup solution. If you're comfortable with the portable and you're willing to, maintain it, make sure the gas is clean, the carburetor is clean, definitely choose a portable. It's a solution that's going to fit your budget and still back up what you want. From that perspective. Or if you want to go whole house and really make sure that you're as comfortable as possible during an outage event, go with the 24 kW generator all day long. I mean, that's the largest air-cooled generator in the market right now. So that's going to be your best solution for a whole home, cost-effective solution. Otherwise, we have larger liquid-cooled products, but then you're kind of stepping into the next pricing tier.
Mm-hmm. Those systems, because where I have a place up in New Hampshire, and everybody has generators and stuff. The larger generator that's basically not a portable one that you put, that you install and you run the wires into the house. Does that go off like once a week? Like it'll do a test. It'll run for like 20 minutes or something like that, just to make sure everything is working and on those systems.
Yeah, what we call it is we call it a quiet test, and what that is it's a weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly exercise, and it'll actually run at half speed if you want it to, and that'll conserve some of the fuel and reduce some of the noise when it runs. But yes, it'll run exercises. It lubricates all the seals and everything in the engine just to make sure it's ready to run the next time that it's needed to be called upon.
Are they electrical? Oh, it can't be electrical. So they basically run on either propane or gasoline?
Yeah, that's right. So they run off an LP tank. So if there's an existing LP tank off the home and you don't have access to a natural gas infrastructure, you can run it off that tank. Otherwise, it does run off natural gas, the clean, efficient natural gas fuel source. So that's some of the benefits from an automatic generator is you don't have to refill it, right? It just runs. If it needs to run, it'll run. That's the beauty of it. That's, I say we sell peace of mind. Whether you're home, traveling, or just on vacation or at work, it's going to start. There's no rip cord, nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that is a nice part. I mean, unfortunately, in my house, I have a portable, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to wheel it out, like you said, during the middle of a storm or at the end of a storm and keep, going to the gas station and filling up cans. So, I mean, definitely stand by. With the propane backup is just such a great thing.
Where I am in New Hampshire, they lose power up there at least 5 times a year. So I would definitely get the one that's not portable. So that, because if you're not there all the time to wheel it out there, and there's a snowstorm and stuff, let it take over, do its own thing.
What's holding you back? Why don't you have one yet?
It's not winterized yet. I'm trying to winterize my place now. We talked about it on the show back and forth. I have the plan, but that is the idea to get a generator to get it going up there. I was also looking into the solar power thing too, but those batteries don't last long enough. I think they're only good for like 6 to 8 hours, and that's it. And power out there is out for could be out for 2 to 3 days. So you need a Generac, baby.
That's right.
So what makes Generac different than some of the other generators that are on the market?
From our philosophy, it's the customer first. We always want to make sure that when we build a product, we have the customer in mind. And that kind of translates into some of the features that we have with the Wi-Fi solution. We were the first to come out with Wi-Fi. And a big reason for that is, like I mentioned earlier, is just so the customer has that peace of mind. Whether they're at home, whether they're at work and their family's at home, they can say, oh, power outage just occurred, but my generator's ready to run. It's up and running. The whole house is powered. I don't have to worry about it. No impact to the lifestyle.
Right. No, that's really, really great. Now, you said it's now Bluetooth compatible. Is that what you said?
It's Wi-Fi compatible.
Wi-Fi.
So just hook up to the home's router, and then you can, see it on your home or your laptop, phone, computer.
Now, is there a certain amount of time that it runs for, like on a tank of propane? Do you have any idea how long that runs?
It all depends. I don't have the math off the top of my head, but we recommend, I believe it's a 500-gallon LP tank minimum.
Yeah,
For some
that
of
makes
these,
sense.
right? So.
Yep, that makes sense.
What was the other thing I was just going to ask you? Be right back. Oh, so basically, the installation is done by an electrician and a plumber also, or is it just an electrician? And then the installer of the LP gas. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So you would need a plumber and electrician both. If you contact one of our dealers, they'll have both on hand for the most part. So if you're doing it yourself, you definitely need a plumber and electrician because you do have gas, and as well as hardwired the electrical into the panel and the transfer switch as well.
Okay. All right. The good old transfer
switch. Gotta love it.
And one thing to consider, saying the lead times for standby is out quite a bit, but one thing you can do to kind of start planning for the process, and I call it, kind of creating your plan ahead of time, is you can do all that electrical work up front. If the panel needs to be upgraded, that can be done ahead of time. If you do need an LP tank, that can be done ahead of time. So, I definitely recommend, if you're considering a standby generator, make sure that all the peripherals are taken care of ahead of time and planned for, because then once the generator is ready to roll, then you just have to put it on the pad and you're done. You just hook up everything else and you're good to go.
Okay. Now, do you have a solution for, like, so we're on the coast here in Connecticut, so there are flood zones, around. Do they have to raise up the generator? Like, is there a different connection?
Different counties, isn't it? It's all different codes.
Well, I'm saying if you do have, good.
It does depend on the local municipality. We call it an AHJ, which is the authority having jurisdiction. So whether it's an inspector or another municipal code, there are requirements if you're in a flood zone. We do offer some stands that the dealers can use, or you can always create your own as long as it meets the code. So yes, there's certain areas you definitely will have to raise it just to meet the floodplain requirements.
Yep. And then I also know that there's codes regarding, like, how close to windows, or does that seem to change from area to area, or is it pretty much the same?
We actually have recommendations in our manual for that specifically. Okay. So we pretty much set you up pretty well to understand what those requirements are. But again, reach out to a dealer and they can walk you through the process as far as how far from an air conditioner, how far from a window, how far away from the back of a wall, because we just want to make sure each installation is installed properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I did. I have a customer who got a generator, and her CO alarm kept going off as the generator was on. And she couldn't figure it out. And the fire department finally came and they figured it out. It was her basement windows that were leaking. So some of the exhaust was coming back into the house. Oh. So she had to take out the windows and put cement in them, and the problem has been solved.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to follow the installation instructions and just make sure that you can never be too safe.
Right, exactly. I agree.
Well, where we are, basically on the shoreline south of where we are, we do our show here in Niantic, down in the Clinton-Madison area. If people are on the shore, they've raised the houses on pylons, basically. So, oh my God, what is it, like 12, 14 feet high?
I think 13 might be the code now. Right. 13 or 14, yes.
I have seen a few houses with Generacs on the platform where the house is. So it's like right outside, up, 13 feet up in the air. My question for you is, Jake, if you know, does it vibrate at all once it's on, or is it just like hum and whir and do its thing, or does it have is there any bad vibration to that at all?
I mean, it's got an engine inside, but there's vibration isolators inside the enclosure and everything else. So as far as vibration, it shouldn't be too much of a concern. Depending on the install, you might need some additional isolation, but I don't think it's required. Sometimes in those more complex installations, you do see someone more specialized come in and kind of create the plan and make sure it's architected properly.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
This guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He's been in it for
7
7
years.
years. You
Yeah,
should
7 years,
7
man.
years.
Yeah.
eat, drinks, and sleeps. Well,
I've been doing this for 15, and I'm not any better. I'm not any smarter. So,
yeah, right.
oh well.
Still
Doesn't
been
work.
there.
Doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, we're still in the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
graduated yet.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
God. Any horror stories with the generators at all? And get shipped to the wrong place? I can't see why though. I've never heard a bad thing about your generators.
I haven't.
Never, ever.
No, I mean that's why we have all the installation instructions, right? We want to make sure these are installed properly and that the customer has a good experience. You know, I mentioned customer first earlier, and that kind of that's what drives us in our business. So we want to make sure that when a customer has a product, the homeowner has a good experience. It's going to run when it's called upon, and they're going to be, you know, safety is top of mind. So for us as well. So, you know, that's what I'll say about that one.
Yeah.
So people can basically, you know, after our show, whatever, they want to get it. If they're interested in a Generac, they can just Google it, right, and just Generac and find out where there's a closest dealer to them, or people who can install it, or where they are. I mean, I think you got a great variety of different places where you can pick it up. You know, so
Yeah.
it's now just trying to get a plumber and just trying to get an electrician over to your house to put the damn thing in. It's so
Right.
busy.
Yeah. Try to find somebody who's got free time.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
That's
Yeah,
why
my-
you said it's
my-
good to start the process now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. My recommendation for anyone considering a standby generator is to go to Generac.com. You know, we have so many tools and resources available for you. We also have what we call a dealer locator. So if you're interested in doing this, you know, you can find a dealer in your area, and they'll be able to start that process, walk you through that, you know, in-home consultation, as we call it, and kind of walk through the basics of what you want to back up, and then kind of get you in the right ballpark of what unit he thinks you should need.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now, is there any other maintenance that's required on the Generacs besides its self-testing? Is there anything else you need to do?
Yeah, from
a
a maintenance perspective, we ask that
Mhm.
the oil, air filters, and spark plugs, I believe, every 2 year, 200 hours. I think the
Okay.
air filters actually 400 hours, but from that perspective, it's like any other air-cooled engine, right? Just make sure the oil's topped off and ready to go. If you do get that hour requirement, just drain it and fill it back up.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah. And about how long do the generators usually last?
I'd like to use, you know, the automotive world as a good example. If they're maintained and maintenance properly, you know, you
Yep.
could see anywhere up to 20 years.
Wow. That's great. That's a great investment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but we see the
paint's still
pictures
on.
from now and again. It's just like, you know, they'll send us this generator. It's like, what was that, Bill? You know, it's just, it's amazing how long these things can run. It's just true. It's a great home investment. You know, peace of
Yeah.
mind for that amount of period.
Sure.
It is just such a good investment, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and I think you'd get it back in resale too. Yeah, I think that would be quite interesting to a lot of home buyers, you know, to have a full system already set up and in place.
I think more so now than ever.
Yeah, I
Yep.
agree with you. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a different world.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, Jake, dude, this was awesome.
yeah. Really, thank you very much for joining us and kind of educating us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
we
for
really
having me.
need to be educated.
Absolutely, anytime. You know, and if you want to send a couple generators up here, you know, we can go ahead and, you know, critique them for you and stuff, you know. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to be checking my driveway anytime soon for a
Right.
package. So.
Hey, I got one hanging around.
Yeah.
Ship it right
Yeah.
up there.
Well, again, it was Jake Van Warmer, product manager for Generac. We really do appreciate you taking the time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
Jake.
one. Take care. And everybody else, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
See ya.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.